My name is Durante. I'm 16 and I work here at OSBG. This is one of the main housing areas for our chickens and our goats. Most of these chickens lay our eggs in that pen over there, which houses Miguel, our only duck, and the baby chicken that it mothers, really. This houses mostly Pearl, Patrick, and Caesar. This is Pearl, and this is Patrick along there, and this is Caesar in the back, standing on all those logs. I love working here at OSBG. It's very awesome. You learn new things every day. You have a lot of fun chores to do, like take care of the chickens, go get the eggs, play around with the goats and the chickens while you get them fed, feed them, keep up the garden. As you can see, it's huge. Keep up the beehive that we have, our only beehives right there. Go sell to a numerous amount of restaurants that we have selling sprouts.
The good thing about sprouts is that they are really nutrition rich, and so basically what you could get, the nutrition vitamins you get from the actual vegetable, they're actually concentrated in the sprout, and so sprouts are really, really healthy, and they're really good garnish for all kinds of dishes. And so that's how the school hopes to generate income for the community and for the school itself, so we can sustain ourselves. Since grants are kind of hit and miss, sometimes you get grants, sometimes you don't, but this is a good way to have a more sustainable way of generating income, and also while we're doing business with outside communities, we spread our message about what we're doing here, and just kind of starting a dialogue about food deserts and the fact that if you live in this community, you really can't get any kind of fresh produce within maybe 10 minutes of driving. It just doesn't exist. There's liquor stores, and then there's kind of fried chicken joints and gas stations, but that's pretty much it. And so really this is the place where community members can come and get fresh vegetables and fresh farm eggs, yard eggs, which are delicious and nutritious. But I can also show you the composting operation we've got going. So walk on this. This is our compost pile. It's very large. And what we do is we get food waste from Whole Foods every morning. So we drive down to Magazine Street, which is kind of like maybe a 20-minute drive, down to Uptown. We're now in downtown of New Orleans. And what we do is we mix green matter with brown matter, and brown matter is like wood chips and straw, and green matter would be food waste. And every day we rely on volunteers to kind of spread it around and make sure that we're going to get a really good soil out of it. And also how to make sure that happens is by making sure air gets through to the center of the composting pile. That's where those tubes are. So bacteria is aerobic versus anaerobic. Anaerobic bacteria would be bad for the soil, aerobic bacteria is good. How has the school affected Lower Ninth Ward, like the community, since Turner started it?
I think it has affected them majorly because now we have us as people in the community have a farm to go to and pick fresh food, and we know what's going on with the food and what they're putting into the soil and not giving it all those pesticides and all of that, and we know that it's fresh and it was produced here around the neighborhood.
Kids in school, we teach them how to do science experiments, but we don't teach them how to engage in a democratic process. or in like consensus decision making. You know, every kid in every state, you know, knows a couple answers to some questions about the New Deal. They know a couple answers to some questions about Martin Luther King. You know, they know some answers to some questions about Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. But there's a lot more. And it would seem to me that a lot more is actually things that everybody should know. Like, we're going to figure out how to share the planet, if we're going to divide up resources, if we're going to problem solve. You know, we've got some pretty massive challenges the world over. If we're going to figure out how to do those things in kind of a decent way, and in a way that's hopefully inclusive and recognizes everyone's kind of common humanity, that we've got to figure out how to work together. So here's the part that I think will be really fascinating, is to figure out if they can start to hold each other to a higher expectation around their participation and collaboration on projects together. Right? Where they start having conversation about, hey man, you want some of the money, but you didn't do any of the work. Or you were sitting around doing nothing, and then now you want the money. Or the other part of it would be, you know, can we sell some of this stuff to kids in the neighborhood or to families in the neighborhood for this amount, and then sell some of it in other areas maybe for a higher amount or for a lesser amount? Or can we get to a point where we could give some stuff away if we wanted to? And to have them engage in those conversations is really, that'd be the beauty of it. So check in a year and see how that goes.